Welcome to our video lecture introducing our paper, MASH, Medicine and Architecture in Space Habitats. I am Thomas Lobb, an architect with a range of experience working on many projects around the world. I've recently teamed up with my colleagues to work on medical equipment and subsequently space habitats. My colleague, Dr. Karuna Haran, whose vast wealth of aerospace medical experience led us to work together, and Kato Mika, our engineer, an ISU master's student, with a passion for human interface design. We have noticed a unique synergy between our professions and the way we work. It was a natural progression to move into a multidisciplinary approach to space habitat design, where we have noticed an idiosyncratic dynamic our merged professions bring to the aerospace sector, allowing us to develop astronaut gender and culturally focused approaches. The pandemic has made you an isolation specialist. Let's take this opportunity to reflect upon our shared experience during the COVID-19 pandemic, namely focusing on the interior design and personal human interfaces that are often an afterthought. We begin this journey together during the pandemic, whilst analysing the parallels between what we have recently experienced and existing space habitat precedents. We have also looked at the existing regulatory framework examples in the built environment here on Earth and those prepared by the aerospace industry. We end up at the main discussion of our paper, a series of what we believe to be 9 key platforms in which we should take our collective experience and begin to build a multidisciplinary and international regulatory framework for the often overlooked interior design of space habitats. Why the pandemic? The topics chosen are chosen because we can all relate to them, even more so post-pandemic. We can all join in the discussion based on our own recent collective experiences. Now we're all experts. Let's spark a new era of habitat design where the interior and human interfaces are just as important as the shell itself. Key precedents. Why these precedents? We simply think that these represented the general approach to space habitats. The existing conditions, the International Space Station, the live analog experiments, Mars 500 and June Alpha, and finally, the conceptual, the European Space Agency's Moon Village. We are all aware of the International Space Station, its role, importance, and its general internal layout. It is the standard in which we can assess the current interior conditions of an off-world habitable space. The June Alpha Mars 500 projects are a testbed for psychological, physiological, and technological challenges faced in long-haul space missions. Going forward, these experiments could be just as important for internal design mock-up tests as the isolation test itself. The Moon Village is not a single project nor a fixed plan with a defined timetable. It is a vision for an open architecture and an international community initiative. For this, we have looked towards the collaborative efforts between SOM and ESA. The regulatory framework. Building regulations, or building codes, are standards set by regulatory bodies to ensure the health, safety, and comfortable usage for all users of a new construction project. They are never perfect, but in theory, they should be updated frequently to progress with our own evolving spatial requirements and technology. The NASA STD 3001 technical standard is to provide uniform technical requirements for the design, selection, and application of hardware, software, processes, procedures, practices, and methods for human-related systems. The metric handbook is born from building regulations. In professional practice, at least in countries where the metric system is used, many architects and engineers will refer to the metric handbook. These guides are an amalgamation of best practice and general governing bodies building regulations. In the not too distant future, there will undoubtedly be a chapter that covers space habitats. And now to the main body of our work, the 9 interior design platforms. Our discussions and experiences over the pandemic have led us to define 9 platforms which we feel form the foundation of good human-orientated design. I will now show you each platform with a snapshot of our work. I hope you can come and see this in further detail during the IAC 2021 conference. Health and safety. Our psychological and physical health suffered being stuck in a confined space. We believe the built internal environment can be designed to offer countermeasures that support mental and physical well-being. Personal space adaptation and human factor design, an area we feel is overlooked and only second to health and safety. We sought changes in our close surroundings to add personalised variety. We believe the built internal environment can be designed to offer flexible and adaptive personal space. Routine and spontaneity. There was a lack of spontaneity in our daily routine. We believe the built internal environment can be designed to combat routine fatigue. Exercise. The ability to exercise outdoors, socially, and with variety was taken for granted. We believe the built internal environment can be designed to offer engaging, non-linear methods of exercise. Senses. Our senses were dulled with repetition. We believe the built internal environment can be designed to offer a complex web of sensory stimuli. Working, living environment. Lines were blurred between work and living timetables and spaces. We believe the built internal environment can be designed to offer a clear divide between work and living. Eating and sleeping. We found food and sleep shaped our day. We believe the built internal environment can be designed to offer comfortable sleeping conditions and engaging, enjoyable eating experiences. Escapism, hobbies. We found our hobbies and pastimes, old and new, helped us cope when times got tough. We believe the built internal environment can be designed to offer the ability to partake in hobbies and pastimes whilst allowing us to explore new options. Social interaction. We found we missed social and physical human interaction. We believe the built internal environment can be designed to offer the ability to socialise with those near and those afar. So, we come to the end of our introduction and teaser. As you have seen, we have created a series of sample habitats to be explored in our interactive presentation and in our paper. We invite you to come and check it out and see how we are doing this. We feel we can use the pandemic as a catalyst to kickstart a renewed focus on the interior design and human interfaces of space habitat design. Our next steps are to mock up and to begin to prototype our designs, interfaces and systems. We want our next analog missions to really embody the unique collaborative working approach we have taken and put the interior design of space habitats at the forefront of future missions. We invite you to come and chat with us during the IAC 2021 interactive sessions. Come and see how we are implementing our platforms. Let's share our experiences and newfound expertise. Please feel free to get in touch either via email at thomas@aerospaceMedicInternational.com or online through LinkedIn, or visit us at www.aerospaceMedicInternational.com. On behalf of all of us here at Aerospace Medic International, thank you for your time and we look forward to seeing you soon.